It's the video you're waiting for. You've been giving me comments like crazy. Get this video on here. Well, guess what? May 2024, TOK Essay title number 5. Let's get an A in TOK.
Get an A in TOK.
Okay, so the first thing is, if you see my other videos, you know you want to stop the video and check the link in the description. You can download this. How long is this? 8 pages, 1,000-word notes. You can download all of this at my website. You don't have to sign up for a thing, okay? It's totally free. I just want to help you out. If you really like my stuff, what you can do, you can check out my online store. That's on Fiverr. I'm the #1 IB tutor basically on the internet. I don't know if that's true. Also, if you want some free stuff, you can go to getanAintok.com/free stuff. You can also go to tokmasterclass.com, save 25% by using the code YouTube subscriber. That's a fully online, on-demand TOK class. People love that. Okay, so you want to download this guide. Do we need custodians of knowledge? Discussed with reference to 2 areas. Is this number 6? No, this is number 5, right? Yeah, this is number 5. Yeah, see, this is why I don't know what to do. That's why I haven't come out with the video, because I don't even know what I'm doing. Okay, let's take a drink. Of water, I mean. Okay, cool. So here are my thoughts on the title. Can I get rid of this? View, ribbon. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Okay, it is essential, vital, required to define custodian of knowledge, okay? You can define this in many ways because it's a debatable term. Or you can use a resource that I shared in my initial video. There is a whole document from the 1960s that came up with this idea of custodians of knowledge. I'll link it in the description here too. You can use that, you cannot use that, but you need to just say a custodian of knowledge is this, and then use that definition a lot. Also, I don't want to give a definition here, because if I do, then everyone's going to use it, okay? So if you are just going to be totally lazy and want to steal someone's, steal it from the document that I'm linking below. And then it'll be clear that you didn't come up with your own. I don't want you to fail. Instead, let's look at what custodians do. Go away. And I wrote do. Huh, get it? Okay. So custodian, if you right-click custodian and look at the menu there, Microsoft says custodian is a guardian, curator, defender, upholder, protector, and keeper. You can easily apply this to knowledge. You can also think about a custodian at school, someone who makes the facilities usable and tidy. So how do we make knowledge usable? Are there people out there that makes knowledge usable? Do we still need them? And we'll talk about why we may not. And finally, this is Philip Abelson. And here's what he wrote in his article that is about, let's see, there we go, in Science, called Custodians of Knowledge from 1968. Okay, you can read this article. This is the whole thing. Okay, I think it's the whole thing. Yeah, this is the whole thing. You can read that and come up. Look at all my tabs. You can come up with your own definition there, or use his. But here's what he says: that they create a system of sharing knowledge, and it must be effective and easily accessible. Experts exist in small fields so that we can find knowledge that we may or may not know because of our own specialties. So we are saying that there are some people out there who are so specific, they are kind of guarding this knowledge so that when anybody needs it, it's shareable. And what's wrong with that? So initially, my answer is yes, we need custodians of knowledge. And I think that's going to be the overwhelming answer, because I don't think that you can say no. Except, how could there be a no? Internet, search engines, and ChatGPT. We could say that we don't need a human custodian of knowledge, and that's what I write about in my conclusion video. If you haven't watched that video yet, it's really good. It gives you a sample of every single conclusion that you could write for all 6 prompts. Check that out. I'll put a link up here or down somewhere below. I don't know. Okay, so what you could do is you could approach it this way. Do we need custodians of knowledge in today's world? And that's totally fine. You can say, for the sake of this essay, I'm not going to talk about what might have been true in the past. I'm going to talk about, do we need custodians today? And that's very fair. So define the rules. You are defining cock. I can't believe I did that. Apologies, click the thing. Not for kids. In a specific way, and limiting your discussions to the current age, as custodians of knowledge were undeniably necessary before the advent of the internet. So I don't think you can say no. I just can't imagine a time when you would say no, other than if we're going to say the internet has made it so we don't. I could be wrong. If you got another answer, put it down in the comments, but I just don't know. I think digital technology, Chat GPT, makes it so we don't need Cox. Oh, wait, I'm moving on. Shut up, Patrick. Okay, the thought about time and technology can be connected to the conclusion. I'm making a video about conclusions if you haven't seen it yet, so watch that video next. I'll put it in the description and the comments. Okay, so my thoughts about organization. Honestly, this is the most important thing. This is inherently a yes or no title. Most students, and I hate this, will say, yes, we need them sometimes, but no, we don't always need them. Avoid this and take a stance. Say, yes, we do, no, we don't, and then drop the mic and end your paper. Though the answer to this title and most yes or no titles is clearly a sometimes, go ahead and be persuasive at the end. You can see my examples in that video and say yes and why, or no and why. If you have seen my other videos, you know that the basic organization, seriously, is what 98% of students do. And that's fine. You can still probably score a 10, but you're going to do yes, no, conclusion. Okay? So if that's what you want to do, there you go. You got it. Close this video. Just kidding. Don't close the video. I need the views. Okay? And this is fine. It will work. But some people will get A's, and see, I capitalized that in using this. But that doesn't set you up well. So even though you might be able to get an A going yes, no, let's try a little bit harder. You're obviously looking for some help, and you're watching this video, so let's see what we can do. The temporal approach. Temporal means time. Introduction. Yes, they were needed in the past because, and then no, they're not needed today. That would be a cool way of doing it. And then the conclusion would be, if they were needed and now aren't, what could we say about the future? I forgot I wrote that. That's very interesting. All right, critical role. You can say, yes, custodians are needed when they blank. So describe a specific role. So in this case, custodians are needed because of this specific skill. And then we could say, no, custodians are not needed when they do this. So we're kind of getting in the middle here, but overall, you would need to decide which one prevails, because just assume there's a gun to your head and you have to say yes or no. You're going to evaluate which is more important, doing this or not doing it because of this. And then finally, did I bold these? Do I need to have, no, I didn't bold. They go like this. Come on, formatting. Yes, the internet still requires requires custodians because, and no, the internet has replaced custodians because. So we're talking about what the internet has done in all of our evidence. Again, totally fine. Just lay the framework in your introduction. For all of my examples, in all of my exploration of this title, I am talking about today's world because we live in an age where knowledge is gained from the internet. Bam, you can do this. Okay, let's look at some evidence for the arts. I love this. This is one of my favorite TOK examples of all time, the role of critics in art, specifically with Old Town Road. Are critics custodians? Do some opinions matter in the arts more than others? A lot of people say yes, a lot of people say no. What about musicians and artists? Can a musician be a custodian too? So does it even matter? And who gets to say? So in this, Old Town Road was taken off the country charts because a lot of people said the song wasn't country, but the artist said it was country. So when it comes to this, whose opinion matters? Who is the custodian in this? I don't know, and you can make the case for anything, all right? Next, critics hate them, audiences love them. Think about films that got terrible reviews from critics, if you count them as custodians, and but it got great reviews from audiences, and we're specifically looking at I think this is going to take us to Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, the Deseret News. And it's going to talk about movies that got great reviews on, bad reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and good reviews by the audience score. Okay, so choose a movie that you like. Don't just choose a movie because it's number one here because everyone's going to use it and it's national treasure. So what knowledge, method, or criteria is being used by a custodian to say it's bad? Does this matter? So if we don't, this pretty much proves right here, we don't need custodians because custodians, the critics, are saying this is bad art. And then we're saying, yeah, we don't care. Okay, so this really uses the internet, uses technology, and we're saying we don't need custodians anymore. I've used this so many times. The Salon des Refugiés, I learned how to pronounce it correctly. So read the whole story. It is art that gets rejected. Then the artists make their own museum. And then Napoleon says, hey, Napoleon III says, hey, this art's okay. All right, so there are so many different ways to look at caretakers here. Of custodians here. And it really just is going to come into, who do you say the custodian of knowledge is in this situation? You can go 3 different ways in this. And then related, we can talk about Metacritic and other aggregators. So do we need custodians of knowledge if computers can compile, then value other people's opinions? Or, and this is where things get weird, is Metacritic, is Rotten Tomatoes a custodian of knowledge. So we don't need human custodians of knowledge. Instead, we need digital custodians of knowledge. I love that. Let's look at the sciences. All of these things can be connected to the human sciences or the natural sciences. So the replication crisis, really important to understand. So when other people replicate studies, we tend to consider that the knowledge is true. So replication equals truth. It's, if you see my other videos, the hallmark of good science is replication. But if something can't be replicated, what does that mean? How do custodians take care of knowledge even if it is or isn't knowledge? Make sure to look at a specific study, not a concept. So when something gets replicated, are we saying that the replicator is the custodian? I think we could say that, and in science is probably very much necessary. This is related. Most published research findings are false, but a little replication goes a long way. So it's pretty self-explanatory. Remember to stay specific. So I'm giving you this resource as a way to get started. You're going to need to find an example that fits within this umbrella. But please don't just cite this and cite the title, because just don't do that. Also, if Kevin's watching this, hi Kevin. Kevin's another fellow tutor. I hope you're doing well, dude. Okay, peer review and the pressure to publish. So this is the idea that, well, people are pressured to publish, okay? So read this helpful article to both understand how peer review works, which is really important because that's why I put this article in here. A lot of people say peer review, blah, 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 but you don't really know how it works. This explains peer review and how it works with people who come up with ideas, and then what happens when somebody comes up with an idea and people don't know if it's true or not. It's really interesting. And again, you're going to decide here, who is the custodian? Is the original scientist the custodian? What about the peer reviewers who are trying to replicate it? And do we need that? Here's the most interesting thing. I got this from my BFF, Malcolm Gladwell. SSRN is a rapid publisher of academic work. So if you come up with a research paper, you put it on SSRN first before it gets super famous. So do we need custodians if people can simply publish their work really quickly? How do we know if the things here are true? So the idea would be if truth is truth, we're all going to, kind of gravitate towards the truth. So if I come up with a study that hasn't been replicated, that nobody believes, but it's true, it's going to rise to the top of SSRN here, and it's going to be understood. So we don't need anybody to help facilitate the truth, to facilitate knowledge, because knowledge and truth will eventually be found. Okay, so those are my examples. I would probably not do history here. You could. I just really like the sciences, and I always like it when we do the arts. I would definitely choose the arts and one of the sciences for this. You could do history, you could do math, but with how this works and some of the unique examples, I really felt like this works better. Okay, if you need more help, fiverr.com/PatFreakinJones. That's me. I'll help you out. I think my store is so overwhelmed right now that my sales are blocked or something. So just send me a DM, say, hi, can you help me? And I'll help you out. If you mention this, I'll give you 10% off of your order. That's cool. If you say, hey, I saw your Title 5 video and you said you give me a discount, I got you. Discount, okay? Only for people who made it this far. And as always, I hope TOK sucks a little bit less than it did at the beginning of this video. I'll see you next time.